Good evening, everybody. It's live, it's on Saturday night, it's just before 7 o'clock. I've had a bit of difficulty trying to get the live stream up and running. Unfortunately, I can't get it to work. So what I thought I'd do instead is just do an as live video for you, just to celebrate the fact that we've hit 100 subscribers on the channel. In fact, we're close to hitting 150. I think we're on 142 at the moment, so I'm really thankful of just obviously how well the channel's doing, that everybody's interested in the content that I put out. So please leave a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and hopefully at some point I will sort out the live stream issue and get it to work. But in the meantime, this is as good as we'll get it. Now, if I can get the live stream to work by the 19th of August, which is the 1 year anniversary of me launching the channel, then hopefully we can then do a live stream then. So once again, my apologies. I'm really sorry that we couldn't do a live stream tonight. Technology, unfortunately, isn't working. I've tried doing it through YouTube. I've tried doing it through StreamYard, which is the preferred thing that I see a lot of YouTubers use. And for some reason, it just isn't kind of like connecting, loading up. So if you've got experience of doing live streams as well, then please leave some hints and tips in the comments, because I would gratefully, really appreciate it. So in the meantime, what I wanted to do in this video is just show you some of my old vintage Star Wars toys that obviously are in storage. Now the plan is, and what I want to do is try and restore some of these if they're in poor condition, and then have them on display eventually. So how this all came about is obviously last year I was furloughed as part of my job that I did at the time. And like you do, you know, after you've done a bit of DIY and you've potted about, you go online shopping, because obviously all the shops were closed, couldn't go anywhere. And that's where I found the Star Wars Retro Collection, the first wave based on the first 6 figures of the Kenner range. And I bought those for a really good price, for about £30. On eBay. And then when they came, they kind of like reignited my sort of like my passion of finishing my collection for my Star Wars toys. The Star Wars toys are kind of like the only ones that I've kind of kept from my childhood. And just down here, you'll find is I've got 3 old ice cream tubs of my old Star Wars figures. So what I did is, using one of these books, and this is the Action Figure Archives book by Steve Sansweet, who obviously you know from Rancho Obi-Wan. He's the guy who has the largest collection of Star Wars memorabilia. I did an itinerary and checked what figures I had and what figures I was missing, and I was actually surprised that I had more figures than what I remembered that I had. And in some instances, it's technically the last, what they call the last 17, which I don't tend to have. I'm missing around about 12 of those, and they go for ridiculous prices on the internet currently. So, you know, that kind of left me in a quandary, you know, because obviously you've got eBay, you haven't got collectors fairs or toy fairs or comic cons currently really going on at the moment, so there's no option to like try and find a bargain there or anything. So I turned my kind of like eye to people who are kind of like doing custom variations and what they call repro figures. And now these are obviously as normal figures as what you would normally see, but they're kind of like just generally reproductions. Now Stan Solo has done a few of these, and he is doing some more, and he does some really, really good work. But in the instance of stuff like, so let me see if I can find him. That guy there, who's the Death Star operator. Now, you know, this figure is currently going for about 150 to 200 pounds, you know, on the secondary market. And this guy is just a absolute resin version, not articulated, but to be quite honest, you know, it looks like the figure. It's brilliantly painted, and you know, I think it does a really good job replacing that, because, you know, I've got bills to pay. You know, yes, I have a job. It's, you know, I'm not, you know, rolling in the cash. You know, and my partner would probably like do a nut if, you know, I spent £200 on a little 3 1/4 inch piece of plastic that was 40 years old. So, you know, these are a good alternative. And the guy who was doing them on eBay at the time wasn't Stan Solo, but I also got another one from him, which is the Amanaman, which you might have seen on my desk in some of the videos. Now again, that's a brilliant representation. Yeah, okay, it's not articulated, but it is essentially looks like the real thing, you know, and I don't mind having that in my collection, because, you know, I'd rather pay £15 for something like this than fork out £200 for the, you know, the genuine article. You know, obviously if I won the lottery tomorrow, you know, I'd buy the real stuff, but, you know, that's never gonna happen. So I'll just put that on there. So there's various other like figures and stuff, and, you know, but I was actually surprised at how many of the last 17 that I kind of like had. And now the last 17 were in the US released under the Power of the Force brand title instead of Return of the Jedi. Yet over in the UK and Europe under Palitoy and the other companies that were distributing it across Europe, it was put on like what they called the Tri logo, which was the multiple language of Return of the Jedi cards. Now, when the very last figure that I got was this guy here. I do remember actually buying him in the summer of 1984, actually. And it is, of course, the Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise. Now, that was a brilliant figure to have as a kid. And obviously really, really surprised that they never did a Han Solo version. However, Stan Solo has done his own version, a customized version, which you can get on his Etsy page. And again, it's a brilliant figure. It's fully articulated. It looks like the genuine article. It's done from the same molds. It's made from the similar kind of plastic. It looks and feels like a real figure, except for it's got Han Solo's head on it. And that's a brilliant figure as well. So that's, I think, one that I have currently on pre-order. And he's also filling the gaps of doing some figures that were never essentially made. He's done a lot of protocol droids and a lot of astromech droids that you saw in the film, but for some reason Kenner never produced. Now, I haven't got some of those, but I have got a C-3PO and an R2-D2, which I do show you in one of the retro collection videos. I think it's the Empire Strikes Back one. So you can see them in there. But he's also doing like a Princess Leia figure in her Jabba's palace, what they call it, slave outfit. Are you allowed to say slave anymore? I don't know. Seeing as Disney won't call it Boba Fett's ship Slave 1 anymore. But yeah, he's doing that as a Kenner figure. And that is kind of like similar to what Hasbro have been doing with the retro collection wave, where they've done reproductions of the original figures, but for each wave they've done, for the first two waves anyway, they did a figure that you never actually got. So for the first wave you actually got Grand Moff Tarkin. Well, it's a great addition to have to the range. Yeah, you know, he was never done originally, but he looks like the genuine article from, you know, 1978 when these figures were first released. Now, obviously, they've gone a step further with the retro collection, and they did a full wave of Mandalorian figures. So it'll be interesting to see whether they go back to Return of the Jedi for the next wave. So those are my figures, and I am slowly filling in the gaps. A couple of weeks ago, I got a Rancor Keeper, who's there. Missing his hood, unfortunately, but I got him for a really good price. I got him for about $7.99, which is amazing because a lot of the ones that I've been watching previously were going for like 25, 30, 40 pounds. So, you know, and he came in a job lot, actually. He came with another Gamorrean guard, which, you know, I already had 2 of those, but I thought, you know, you can have 3, you know. You never have too many Gamorrean guards. So I am on the lookout, you know, and still trying to fill those gaps that I've got. So he's the genuine figure. I'm just missing his hood. I'm trying to find somebody who does a reproduction hood for the figures. Not been successful yet. Again, you know, if you guys know anybody who does that, or is linked to an eBay seller who does, like, you know, reproduction, weaponry and stuff, you know, for older figures, then brilliant. You know, I'll look into it. Thank you. So, rabbiting on. Let's take a swig of water there. So, here we've got some of my vehicles that I've got out of storage. Now, the first one I'll show you is actually the last vehicle that I got as a kid. And I got it for Christmas 1983, I believe. And this is the Rebel Troop Transporter, which you can see there. Now, it's in almost complete condition. The only thing that's missing from it, which I thought I had somewhere, but I can't seem to like find it, is, and it may be in one of the other boxes that I've just not covered yet, is the little flap. That's the hatch on the bottom of it there. But as you can see from that, there is quite a lot of discoloration. Certainly when you look at the detachable panels at the front and at the rear, they, for some reason, haven't faded and yellowed as much as the rest of the vehicle. And there's some strange marks on the bottom as well, which you can see there. Now, if you've seen my Stormtrooper video, where I use hydrogen peroxide to get rid of the yellowing effect, apparently it does work on these vehicles as well. But what I'm mindful of is the fact that it still has the original stickers on. So I'm going to look at alternatives to trying to restore that colour and get rid of that kind of yellowness to it. Now, just have a look. As you can see there, you can see the guns are still in place there. It's a little bit dusty because it has been like under the stairs for quite some time. And then the hatch comes out there, and you can see the cockpit. But also, if you twist that there and lift that up, it effectively also was used as a action figure carry case, which you can put all your figures in there. They all have little peg holes for you to stand your figures up. And then underneath there, you've obviously got a cardboard display of the inner workings of the troop transporter with pipes and switches and stuff. So it's in fairly good nick for its age. Like I say, I probably just need to look at restoring the colour slightly and giving it a bit of a clean. So that is my Rebel Troop Transport. That, if memory serves me, is the last thing that I got, last vehicle from the Star Wars range. that I got as a kid for Christmas, which is a bit of a shame really, because I kind of like Christmas 83 into 84 was kind of like probably the last year of primary school and then moving into secondary school. So kind of like, you know, you were kind of like told by, you know, grown-ups and your parents and stuff that, you know, well, you're too old for toys now. You know, you've got to put them away. And, you know, I'm lucky that out of all the toys that I had, I kept all of my Star Wars ones. It's a shame that I got rid of my Action Man toys. It's a shame I got rid of my Doctor Who ones, the Dennis Fisher ones that I had. And also the Action Force. I had a load of Action Force, which was kind of like Palitoy's way of reinvigorating the Action Man brand, but doing it in the scale of Star Wars action figures. And I had loads of those, and I think I gave them away to my cousin. And obviously, if you see the prices that they go for these days, it's absolutely unbelievable. So we'll just put that down there. So in this box here, or this bag here, should I see, we have one of the rare boxed vehicles that I've got. Yes, it's got some tape on it, you know, but you know that's what you did as a kid. And there you see, it's a Rebel Armoured Snowspeeder. And again, same image on the back. The box has seen better days, and it is slightly warped and a bit misshapen. And the reason why that is because I think about 25 years or so ago, these were all stored at my mum's house, and most of them were in their original boxes. And unfortunately, she had a flood, and where these were stored was one of the places that was hit with the water damage, and it meant that certain boxes were beyond repair. And stuff like, I had the box for the Millennium Falcon, which was absolutely beyond repair, basically like paper mache, which I had to throw away. Slave one box I had, I think I had the box for the Scout Walker, yeah, that had to go. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame that there's only a couple of Star Wars things that I've got, like still with their original boxes. But you know, these things happen. As you can see, now that is in, it's almost complete. Just put that down there. So, just missing the engine off, which just pop on. And look at that. Look at that, guys. That is amazing. That is really, really good. Now, I'm not too sure. If I remember rightly, this is electronic. So I'm trying to figure out, if I remember rightly, where the batteries went. Don't have instructions, but I remember these used to light up. Obviously, you've got the cockpit there, where you can put two of the pilots in. Oops. See, filming this is live. It's almost as if you get like the real thing. You just can't comment live. So it is a bit of a shame, because I would have liked to have, like, you know, some, you know, feedback and conversations with, you know, some of my subscribers. It would have been nice to think. Now, that panel, I think, is where the batteries go, but it's not coming off at the moment, and I don't want to force it. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Now that looks in pretty good nick. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to see if I've got some batteries for here, and see if this thing, after 40 years, still works. Bear with me. Okay, we're back. We are in luck. We have some batteries of the ones that are required. And probably in this day and age, you probably have just AA's and AAA's because they seem to be the standard batteries that all kind of like toys and things like this take. But for some reason, these are C batteries, I think. I think so, anyway. No, I don't know. See, you'd think because, you know, I played with these almost on a daily basis, I would know where the trigger is to switch this on, but I don't. Now there's a switch under here, which is there. The engine's fallen off again. Now that, I'm not sure if that's the switch. Okay. See, I won't be surprised if it's not going to work, you know, because, I mean, these things are, you know, so many years old. No. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Mind you, it may even be the batteries. No, that doesn't seem to be working, unfortunately. Oh dear. But it's still in very, very good condition for the fact that it's essentially been in storage for 40 plus years and not been played with. That's really good. I always liked the Snow Speeder. I thought the Snow Speeder was really, really cool. It was a really cool. Now I don't want to leave the batteries in. As with everything, you leave batteries in long enough, they will leak. So if you're putting stuff into storage, then don't leave the batteries in because it's only then going to damage the electronics. So what we'll do, we'll put that back in its box. Don't you just love old-fashioned packaging? It's really cool. I used to love the Star Wars packaging. Loved the little dioramas that they had with the action figures. Assembly required and action figures sold separately. Put that back in there. Okay, so we've got two more boxes out to show you guys. Now one of them's a big box and it's still in its original box, but I think I will save that till the end. So in the meantime, I'm gonna take out what's in this one. Now, first of all, I'm gonna take what's in this bubble wrap here. Oh dear. Now, there's a story behind one of these. And I think something that's just fallen off will probably give you a clue what it is, because that is a X-Wing gun. Do I have all the X-Wing guns? I don't have them for the full amounts, but certainly in the case of I think I've only got one. Oh, that's interesting. Certainly a case of talking about how toys were played with, and obviously, you know, the condition that they're currently in. Now, remember, if you've watched the Stormtrooper video, I told you that this guy here was one of the very first figures that I got, along with an R2-D2 and an X-Wing vehicle. Now here is that said X-Wing. Prepare yourselves, because it's not in the best condition. There you go. Now that definitely has, that's looking like that Stormtrooper was before I stuck it in hydrogen peroxide. Does the mechanism still work? Yes, the S-foils still work. Looks like the guns have gone, well gone. Now, yeah, that's my very first Star Wars vehicle. And as you can see, it's seen better days. Now, I got that sometime in 1978. And I know the experts among you will suddenly go, hold on, it didn't come with battle damage stickers in 1978. That was a later re-release, around about 81, when they re-released it under Empire Strikes Back with battle damage stickers. And yes, that is true. And that is why I have another X-Wing. Which I got probably around about 1981-82. Now that's in a lot better condition. It has the canopy for a start, which you can see there. We've only got one gun for it though, so I may have to buy some reproduction guns to put on the wings, because if I can't find them in that box, I'm sure I had a few. Well, that's where they would normally go. Now, does the S-foil position work here? Yes, it does. Brilliant. And obviously Luke would go in there. And that still closes well. Now, obviously what I did as a kid, you can see, is I used the battle damage stickers that came with this X-Wing, and I put them on this one. Because obviously this one was looking a lot worse for wear, probably, even back then. However, as you can see, I've done a bit of a custom job on this. At some point, I don't know when. I do remember doing it though. As a kid, I decided to make Luke's X-Wing a Super X-Wing, as in the next model up. And I did my own kind of customization by colouring in certain sections with permanent marker. Yeah. The things you do as a kid, eh? I'm gonna have to probably look into safe ways of trying to remove marker pen from old toys. I don't think that's going to come off in soapy water. To be fair, the stickers are very, very good. They're almost in, well, you know, they're in good condition for its age. I wouldn't want to really replace the stickers, to be quite honest, unless I really, really have to. So I wonder if nail varnish remover would work, or would that damage the plastic? Again, if you guys know, please leave a comment or link to a video. What I might do is I might have a look at Toy Palitoy's videos, or even Retro Blasting, because they do restorations and repairs on old toys, to see whether they've got anything with regards to marker pen, for getting marker pen off old plastic toys. But yeah, that is something that I would like to restore, get rid of the marker pen, and then have it on display. So there you go. Those are my 2 X-Wings. My very first Star Wars vehicle, which is looking a lot worse for wear. Now again, I could take all the stickers off that and do a restoration job on that, where you take it apart and you submerge it in hydrogen peroxide and you bring it up to its whiteness again, and then put reproduction stickers on. But I don't think I'm going to do that with that one. I'm going to concentrate on restoring that, because that is a good colour. That's virtually still white. There's some slight discoloration underneath it, but nothing that I can't live with. But again, I just need to look into getting the marker pen off that. So yeah, things you do as kids, eh? Vandalism. Right, so those are my 2 X-Wings. Before we have a look at what else is in this box, just take a quick drink. Now this is probably the granddaddy of them all, and this is probably what every kid wanted. Can you tell what it is yet? Using a dubious 1970s celebrity catchphrase. Wow. Look at that. Look at that, guys. It is, of course, I don't know where the hell I got all this bubble wrap from. The Millennium Falcon. As you can see, that is in fairly good nick. Don't remember the radar dish being missing, unless it's somewhere else. Oh! Battery compartment. We can see if this one still works. Yeah, look at that. This was the must-have toy if you were a Star Wars fan like me. And look, there's the cockpit where Han and Chewie went, or Lando and Chewie if you were doing adventures between Empire and Jedi. And of course, that falls off there. Ah ha ha! So that came off there. There's the radar dish. Let's see, I'll just pop that on. Probably put it in there for safekeeping. Hey, the radar dish is on. Looks like the seat has fallen off slightly and disconnected, so that needs to be reattached. Actually, it looks like part of it's broken off, which may have happened during play. Now, the one thing that really broke years and years ago was the ramp. Unfortunately, I could never get the ramp to stick, so that ramp was always fixed in with sellotape, and I don't know if you can, probably, because I'm filming this really remotely. You can see how much old sellotape residue stickiness was on there for me to try and connect that, because that was one of the first things to go. It was really, really fragile and flimsy. And look, there's even a bit of old blue tack on the ramp there to keep it in place. So this needs a bit of restoring. And look, I've even got the old training remote ball as well, which looks like it's just the thread has just worn away in time. Now, Oh, they're squeaky. Oh, and then that's the landing gear still works. So you used to like hold it like that and then you used to fly it around. Ooh, sorry for that. There is the Millennium Falcon. Now I'm just going to put those in there. Now the one thing that I've noticed that I've got missing is the false floor compartment, which isn't there for some reason. Don't remember ever that going missing. That's easily fixed by probably having a look on eBay. And probably paying ridiculous prices for a replacement one if I can't find it. Right, now let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick see if it still works with the batteries. I don't know whether I put those in the right way or not. So we'll try them the other way, obviously. Or if they were just both the same way, no sounds. So again, that's something that's probably just gone over time, sadly. Never mind. But yeah, look at that. The Millennium Falcon. That is amazing. Now, when they did the legacy version as part of the new 3.75 inch range, which was fully in scale with the figures, so it was probably twice the size of this. I was very, very tempted to get that when it came out, and then they re-released it, I think last year, in celebration of Galaxy's Edge opening in the Disney parks in Orlando and California. But I quickly balked at the £400 price tag. So yeah, I'm glad I passed on that, because you really just can't beat that for an iconic toy vehicle from Star Wars. That is brilliant, that is. Right, I'm going to be careful. Oh, take the radar dish off as well. So again, yeah, you know, I had the original box for that, but sadly it was completely water damaged. You know, it's just one of those things, because, you know, I mean, these toys are obviously worth a lot. They're worth a lot on the secondary market, especially if they're in good condition. I mean, I'd say these are okay condition. You know, you can tell that they've been played with. I'm going to keep that out because I'm going to look into restoring that, perhaps do a video on it. I'm just going to wrap up my first X-Wing. Put that there. Okay, so final box of the night. There are another couple of boxes that I've got in storage, but you know, I was thinking about obviously time, and obviously with people interacting on the live stream, and you know what they would say and stuff. You know, and obviously that would take time. I was only planning for this to around about an hour. And I think obviously the way this video is going, even without you guys interacting on a live stream, is probably going to be quite lengthy. So, so I only got one more box out. And again, ask a Star Wars collector who collected or played with these toys back in the 1970s and 1980s. Ask them what was the main vehicle that you wanted, and you would have got one of two answers, more than likely, from a kid back then. One of them would have been the Millennium Falcon, which we've just seen, and the other one would have been here it is, the AT-AT Walker, the all-terrain armoured transport. Now again, you can see the box isn't in the best condition, but I managed to salvage this box from the water damage that it had, and it has more than the AT-AT in here. So I can hear everything cluttering about inside. So there's the packaging, there's the original box featuring the Hoth scene. And I remember getting this Christmas 1980. I remember that Christmas because probably in child terms I was absolutely spoiled bloody rotten during that for Christmas 1980, and I just couldn't believe that I got this as my main present. It was just like, wow. And yeah, but there's another thing in here besides the AT-AT, which I'll slowly start to take out. See if you can guess what it is. That's part of that. Again, do you know what it is? Now, these various pieces make up, I think that's it for that. Oh, two more pieces. Apparently the Emperor hologram, which was on that, thing, and the bit that kind of like holds it all. I'll just move that out of the way. Oh, there's one more bit here. It's the top bit. So, if you know what this is, you will know. I'm missing the other one. Oh, just leave that off. This is the Star Destroyer playset. The Imperial Star Destroyer playset. Darth Vader's Imperial Star Destroyer playset. And let's see if I can remember how this all fits together. That goes like that. That goes on the end there. Now there's a gun that should go there, which I don't know where that is. And then that kind of like goes, the meditation chamber goes in like that. And then this fixes on top. The thing with plastic that's this old, it's, you don't want to thing, and look, there you go, that's essentially it. Doesn't look like a Star Destroyer, does it? But you get the gist of it, and still, you know, it was a nice toy to kind of like have. And obviously Darth Vader used to sit in there. Oh, the lid's coming off, and he'd lift that up and he'd be sat in there. Yeah. And as you can see, just there, just how wonky those stickers were put on. They weren't put on well at all. Certainly that one. Oh, kids, eh? Why did you always used to let the grown-ups do it? So that's the Imperial Darth Vader Star Destroyer playset, which was all right. Very similar to, I think, the Death Star playset, which really didn't look like the Death Star, but you know, it's kind of like something that you still wanted because it was a playset, and that kind of falling apart now. Right, I'm going to put that down there because that's just not holding together, and it's missing a few parts which probably are around somewhere. Oh, I forgot to put the hologram in. Well, let's get the big one out. The grand daddy of them all, which is, oh, here we go. The AT-AT. Amazing. Brilliant. Look at that. That is one of the best toys I think ever made in a toy range line. Now again, I know the guns that go under there, I do have them somewhere. But again, you know, these things were put away for like 40 years and stuff, and so I know that they're probably stored somewhere. They're probably in one of the other boxes or anything. But yeah, just look at that. That is amazing. That was fantastic. I used to love playing with this. And obviously the legs move. So we'll just put him down there. And he still stands up, which is really good, because I see a lot of them that get sold have got like really wobbly legs that don't stand up. Ah, there's a few other pieces of the Star Destroyer down here. So that's where they were. Aha. Brilliant. Now, this is something that you don't normally get. Instructions. Now, I think that came with this. It's actually Palitoy or Kenner telling you that correction to use HP2 batteries and particular bulbs rather than the ones that it said on the original instruction booklet. Now, I don't have the instruction booklet for this, but for some random reason I have the instruction sheet for Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, which is in one of the other boxes, which I haven't got out yet. I think Slave 1 and the Scout Walker are in that box as well. Yeah. Obviously, Palitoy branded, because obviously most of the toys were licensed out by Kenner to be made by Palitoy in the UK. Now, one of the cool things that these toys used to have were things like this. You used to get like little pamphlets which would tell you what currently was available, and it would fold out into a poster. Just look at that. That is amazing. Look at that. Now, I'm not even sure if I had this on my wall because there's no drawing pin marks in the corners or residue of blue tack, which I sometimes used to use. But on the other side, you've got the Star Wars range. Now look at that. With currently what figures were available at the time that this was first released. So what did we have? We had 45 figures. Now originally, eventually the range went up to, officially it went up to 97. I think they call it 97. However, that's because Kenner didn't include the things like multiple R2-D2s or C-3POs or other characters. So when you actually count all the figures up, I think the figures are roughly around about 105, 106. But yeah, look at that. Now I've got a Wampa somewhere. Definitely have a Wampa. There you can see is Darth Vader's Star Destroyer in a lot better shape than what mine is. You've got Slave 1 down here, which we will have a look at in another video. Snowspeeder and the Millennium Falcon. And I do have a full-size Cloud City car pod thing, which used to fit figures in as well. Now, one of the things that I always wanted as a kid was the Imperial Troop Transport. Never got it. Never got it. That's one of the rare things that I didn't have. I've got a Tauntaun, which we'll look at probably another time. And these mini rigs as well. I do remember, I think I've got a couple of those mini rigs. Now those were like kind of like made up small vehicles that were like discounted, like which were only like $4.99 for those parents or kids who, you know, couldn't afford to splash out £30-40, which was a lot of money back in, you know, 1970s, the 1980s, on the big stuff. So yeah, so that's really cool. I love looking at stuff like that, really do. And then there's another thing as well. Now I remember these, a bounty hunter capture log. Now this was all about if you cut out various things from your Star Wars card backs and sent them off with certain, you know, like a postal order, then you got certain things. Now I remember doing this, with one of these. I got Dengar. Dengar I got in the post, so I must have cut off some of the names, and it shows you on the back obviously what you had to do. You had to cut off the names of the characters which were on the red, that kind of like the coloured pill above the figure on the card back, and then attach them and send them off to the Customer Services Department, the Palitoy Company, P.O. Box 9, Colville in Leicester. And you'd fill in your name and address and your age. And for Dengar, you had to collect 3 card backs and send them 14p postage. And they would send you the figure back, amazingly. And then the survival kit, I remember getting the survival kit as well. I did the survival kit. Now, bizarrely, the survival kit was more, 4 names. So that would have been 4 figures. So essentially, figures were roughly about £1 back then. And 30p postage. You would have thought Dengar would have been more, because you would think the figure would have been. And then Darth Vader's collector's case, which I think I had, but I don't know if I kept it. That's 6 names and £8 postage and packing. So a postal order or a cheque for £8, and they would then send you the Darth Vader's action figure carry case, which was cool. But yeah, I love stuff like that. It really takes you back, Okay, well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Like I say, guys, I really do apologise that the fact we couldn't get a proper live stream going, and hopefully I can get that resolved in the future, and then we'll hopefully do one next month, 19th of August, around about that time, for the 1 year anniversary of the channel. But I hope you enjoyed this little walk down memory lane for me, having a look at all my old Star Wars toys. Like I said, I've still got a couple more boxes with stuff in there, and I haven't looked at them for quite a while, so I think I know what's in there. And I certainly think stuff like what I've already mentioned, and plus the land speeder and stuff are in there. But there might be some more surprises. So if you want me to do another kind of like unveiling, unboxing of my old vintage Star Wars toys, then please leave a like and comment in the box and just say that you've really enjoyed it or you'd like to see more. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If you like the content, it's absolutely fantastic that we've got over nearly 150 subscribers now. Can't thank you all enough. Thank you very, very much for your support. And we'll have another video up very, very soon. So thank you for watching. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon on Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. See you later.